this trip. Hi, I'm Ayden Smith. I'm a sophomore here. I'm a vocal music education major. I'm gonna move this. Woo! Yeah! So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my family tonight. I'm gonna introduce two people to you. My mother Tracy, lovely woman. She raised me as a single mom, and my brother. It's quite a feat. And my grandmother, who, absolutely crazy woman. Three things I can say to describe her. She is a businesswoman, she's a breast cancer survivor, and she's a badass. All separate things, all separate things. If you pick up a Webster's dictionary and you go to badass, you're not gonna find it. They don't put swear words in the Webster's dictionary. But if they did, it would say Ayden's grandmother. And most people would be very confused. But you are gonna find out tonight who Ayden's grandma is. She's not here, but. So, I'm gonna start with my heritage. I got a lot of stuff running through my blood. It's mostly plasma, but there's like little German bits running through there somewhere, probably in my lungs, who knows. So, when my family moved to America, they decided to settle in the best place possible. Thinking North Dakota, right? No, Kentucky. They settled in the Appalachian Mountains of Kentucky. You know, where there's Confederate flags every 5 feet and you're not sure if that's your girlfriend or your cousin. So my grandma calls me up 3 years ago. And she's like, hey, Braden. I'm like, Grandma, that's my brother's name. And she's like, you're right, I have a brain tumor. I know nothing. We're going to Kentucky in 8 days. And I say, Grandma, it's July. I have a job. She says, I know. You know that show that I like, Andy Griffith's show? I'm like, no, I watch anime. She says, she says, well, they're doing a festival down in Kentucky. They call it the Mayberry Pie Festival. It's the first one ever. And I'm gonna take you. And while we're down there, we'll see where our family used to live. And somehow my mom got involved. I have no idea how that happened. We never told her, she just ended up there. So we go to rent a car. And my mom says we should get an SUV. You know, we're relatively big people. Like, I mean, I'm tall, but they're short, you know. We're not thin. And my grandma says, no, let's save money. She's a millionaire. I mean, I'm not, but she is. Let's get a 2-door sedan. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can drive. I had my driver's license. Well, they didn't want to pay for the insurance for a person who was 16 years old to be in the insurance, I guess. So I'm like, okay, I'll navigate. I'll sit in the passenger seat. My grandma does that. My grandma with a brain tumor who doesn't know how to use Google Maps, she probably doesn't know what Google Maps is, decides to navigate through Kentucky. And me, I'm going to tell you I'm 6'2", cranked with his neck like this the entire trip in the back seat. I couldn't see anything. I have no idea if Kentucky's pretty. I just saw Confederate flags everywhere. It was cool. We found the first homestead the next day. It only took us about 30 minutes. It was pretty cool. It was literally just a barn. I guess they lived in there. Who knows? It was like 150 years old. But the second homestead took us 8 hours to find. We didn't have Google Maps. We didn't know where this thing was. We literally just drove through the mountains trying to find a house. We didn't even know what county it was in, but we found it. We found it because we went to a gas station, and my grandma went up to the lady and says, hey, you know where the Elliott homestead is? And this lady was like, yeah, I know exactly where that is. I can show you their graves. She took us to the home and says, yeah, the graves are right up on that hill that hasn't been trimmed for 50 years. I'll take you right up there. Be careful, there's poisonous snakes. And first of all, there's poisonous snakes up at the top of that hill. Second of all, I don't know what the hell kind of woman is going to take you up to the top of a hill with gravestones, but that's a serial killer. That is a serial killer up there. We survived, I guess. I didn't go up. I was terrified. But we survived. We go across the state, go to the Mayberry Pie Festival the next day. There's a banner and a bluegrass band playing in a parking lot. It's the entire festival. No one from the other block came to this thing, and we came from North Dakota to Kentucky to see this. My grandma cosplayed a character from the Andy Griffith Show. She wore pajamas, walking through, carrying pie, walking through the streets of Kentucky. That's my grandma for you. Lovely lady. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my grandma. She is a businesswoman. She currently owns a shoe store out in Bismarck, Mandan. It's called Shoezam for some reason. Now, it sounds like a discount store. No, it's like a fancy store, and she had the great idea to call it Shoezam. So she had some past businesses. She never graduated. She had my mother while she was in high school. She got her GED, and she went into owning businesses. She owned an ice cream shop. She owned a supper club that got bombed. She owned a car lot once. So what they would do, my grandma and a whole bunch of her friends, they'd hop in a small car, they'd drive down to Kansas City. I think Kansas City, Kansas, I'm not really sure. They'd buy cars at a car auction. And they'd all hop in the driver's seat of each individual car, like all in the same one in the driver's seat. And they would drive back up, sell the cars, right? Well, they found out that these cars, the miles are being rolled back so they can sell them for more. So my grandma takes them to court. You know, like you do. You take them to court. Turns out this car auction was run by the freaking mafia of Kansas City. I don't know what kind of mafia runs in Kansas City, but I'm not going to mess with them anyway. Well, she did, and she won. That's how she made her money, and she never shared it with anyone. And she went on 60 Minutes for this. She went on 60 Minutes. I'm pretty sure she went out to California, kicked in the studio door, sat down with whoever runs that show, tips her pink cowgirl hat, flexes her pink cowgirl vest that she wore, her pink cowboy boots, and goes on 60 Minutes national television. She didn't even have a brain tumor yet. I've been Ayden Smith. Next up is Fake News.